What is good, everyone? In this video, we're gonna go over some potential landing spots for LeBron James. I'm gonna give you some pros and cons of each landing spot. We're kind of gonna talk things through, give you my perspective, how I see it, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna give where I think LeBron should go and where I think he is going to go, which in this case is two different teams. So stay tuned. I put this photo of him just now at the start of this slideshow. Hopefully it caught your eye and is keeping you to watch this video. So without further ado, we're going to start off with two teams. And these two teams are going to be my immediate no teams. As in, LeBron, you're not going here. I don't think you're going here, and you should not go here. So let's get into it. So firstly, the Warriors. I know this team had a lot of buzz to get LeBron James at the start of the offseason. We know how close of a friendship LeBron has with Steph, Dre, and how closely he's competed with the Warriors organization throughout his career. And I'm sure at one point in LeBron's career, he probably thought, wow, I'd really like to play with these guys. Well, I just think that time is not now. I don't think that time is ever. That ship has totally sailed, in my opinion. Not only do I just not like it as a LeBron fan, like the optics, but I think just the biggest gripe I have with this scenario is that adding LeBron James to this roster does not fix how incomplete of a roster this is in a stacked Western Conference. Now, I know you're gonna say they have Jimmy Butler, they have Draymond, Porzingis, Al Horford, Curry. It's just not gonna be better than the Spurs or the Thunder, and I just don't see this team as I don't see him being on this team and being like, wow, that team's way better than the Lakers were last year. I honestly don't think that. And yeah, you got Steph, but all right, Jimmy Butler, he's kind of skidded off a little bit in terms of his prime years. I mean, we know he still has ball left in him, but he's not the most exciting like co-star or like player to have next to LeBron. You got Draymond, who's obviously out of his prime as well. Porzingis can't stay healthy, and Al Horford's about 50 years old now, and this team has zero to no depth. You're gonna have Brandon Podziemski getting big minutes on this team. I know he's well hated across all of social media. Shout out AirPods. I don't hate you, but I just don't think LeBron completes this roster enough. So yeah, don't go to the Warriors, LeBron, and I don't think he's going to. That buzz has definitely simmered down. Now, the second team, oh, my face is kind of in the way here. Let's make me a little smaller. Screw it, whatever. The second team that I have as an immediate no is the Timberwolves. This team got buzz recently, and although these jerseys are sick and LeBron does look very nice in them, if I do have to say so myself, I just know this fit. Not necessarily the fit, but this team it's just not the landing spot for LeBron. It was definitely a left field team, but when they got LaMelo Ball and when I think it was the Timberwolves GM made the pitch to LeBron of how they don't win championships in the city and how he can change everything, blah, blah, blah. That is true, but when you look at this team, you see everything I have here. You see everything that's wrong with it in a landing spot. The lack of front court depth, I think, is actually like an underrated piece to look at from this team. They have Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert. Other than that, they don't have much forwards or big man. They traded Naz Reid. They lost Julius Randle. And I understand LeBron would help that, but at the end of the day, you want to send LeBron to a team where he doesn't have to be that superhuman man who's asked to play maybe 35 minutes a night and fill in the positions, and like you want to slide LeBron nicely into a team. Like, you don't want LeBron to have to feel like we 100% need you to like compete. I don't know how to word it, but like LeBron, like I think just sliding him to Minnesota would be too much of a toll on him in terms of like the forward position. I can't quite find the right words for it. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys know what I'm saying. Like, they don't have much front court depth, and like LeBron, like you're gonna want to have like some depth at his position. You're gonna want to have some depth behind Rudy Gobert, which I mean they have Jaden McDaniels, but LeBron's more of like a four kind of stretch four in this point of his career, and like who's going to come off the bench for him, I guess is what I'm more so trying to say. But let's get away from that talking point. I didn't really hit that on the nail like I wanted to. But, like, most importantly, LeBron does not put this team over the top. Same with the Warriors in the stacked Western Conference. He just doesn't. They don't have enough depth, in my opinion, as I just said. And there's certainly holes in this roster. Their backcourt is loaded with LaMelo and Ayo. But other than that, as I said, their front court it really is lacking, and I don't think LeBron at this point in his career is, I wouldn't say good enough, but I just don't think he's able to be the saving grace. Like, you don't want, that's exactly what I was trying to say. You don't want LeBron to have to come in and be the saving grace. Like, that's not what we're looking for with LeBron here, and I just don't think Minnesota, I just don't think they allow him to kind of coast the way they'd want him to, if that makes sense. Or the way LeBron would want himself to, I'd say, in the regular season at least. And small market. LeBron has shown no interest in this team. It did come out of left field, and Minnesota is a small market. LeBron James is a big market player at this point in his career, with a few exceptions, which the next one is the biggest exception. So now we're getting into the teams where these are the most possible and probable landing spots for LeBron James. And the first obvious one is, of course, Cleveland. The King can return to Cleveland for, well, I guess this would be his second return and his third time playing in Cleveland. And immediately the pros, legacy. If LeBron goes back to Cleveland and wins again, I mean, what a way to end your career. You couldn't write it any better. You can't argue with it. That is like the storybook ending that I'm sure LeBron is looking for and is heavily considering. They also have a lot of shooters around LeBron. Max Strus, Sam Morrell, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden. These guys can all space the floor. LeBron, we know, is an amazing facilitator, and I think he would be able to thrive in this offense. And also, they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So this team, they were close. Analytically, they beat the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're not far off of a championship appearance or a finals contention. So I'm sure LeBron's looking at this team and heavily considering it. They just re-signed Donovan Mitchell. They're probably going to re-sign James Harden. Who knows what's going to happen to Jared Allen? I guess that is kind of a question mark, but time will tell. They still do have Evan Mobley, and they have good depth too. They have Thomas Bryant. Like, I know Thomas Bryant's not a needle mover, but that's besides the point. I mean, Max Strus, Sam Morrell off the bench. They got some players on this team. This is definitely a squad. But let's get into the cons. So I remember when LeBron, well, I'm sure many of you have seen this clip. He was talking to Austin Reeves. I believe this was when he had a podcast with JJ Redick still. Or no, he was talking to Steve Nash, and he was talking about how, this was last year or 2 years ago when he had Luka and Reeves. And he was saying that he was hinting at the fact that he did not want to be a deferred ball handler. And the third option role, the third ball handler role, or whatever you want to put it, that role was cool to him for now. Those were his words. He said, "It's cool for now. It's all right." So I don't think LeBron wants to defer ball handling responsibility all that much. And James Harden and Donovan Mitchell are two very ball dominant players, which might not suit the style that he desires to play at this stage in his career. I think LeBron wants to be more of like a point forward, if I had to guess, and be more of a facilitator. And Cleveland is not quite the team for him, I don't think, if that's what he wants to do. I put lack of forward depth here. They did lose Dean Wade, and when I was listing their bench, I actually didn't even name any forwards. Max Strus and Sam Morrell are both guards. I mean, I'm sure Max Strus can play the three, but yeah, I mean, that's not quite the biggest issue, but it's just like, as I said, you don't want LeBron to have to come in and play a ton of minutes. You want to have people behind him, and you don't want him to feel like he needs to play any sort of unnecessary load to a certain extent in the regular season. And they do lack depth at the power forward and small forward positions, so there is a thought to be had there. Also, overplayed. I put that there. And by that I mean, like, again, he came back to Cleveland. He gave them their first championship in 50 years. He came back 3-1. He gave the speech, "Cleveland, this is for you." He tried a couple more times, and he left. Boom, good terms. that was it. You're done with Cleveland. You've done all you've had to do there. You've given your all to this organization, and you're gonna go back there and try to do it again. Like, do you need to? I don't know if he quite does necessarily. I don't think this is like a point in his legacy where you can knock LeBron for doing anything. I think LeBron, at no matter what he does at this point in his career, it's just a cherry on top. He's gonna be 42 years old in his 24th year, so yeah, overplayed is the whole going back to Cleveland thing. Like, overplayed, is that old news? I think it very much well could be, and like, do we want to see it again and go through, oh, LeBron's bringing a championship back to Cleveland? Like, I'd rather them just try to win one by themselves, but that's just me. I think LeBron has already had his his fair time in Cleveland, I guess is what I'm going to say here. Now, Miami. Miami is a very interesting fit, which I didn't like much at first. But as I was doing this video and coming up with a little note sheet that I have here, I don't mind it as much as I thought I would. Pros. I said Braun. Oh, it's supposed to say Point Braun. Yes, so we know LeBron, he wants to be, he doesn't like to be, he wasn't loving the third option role in Los Angeles in terms of being a deferred ball handler. In Miami, he gets to run Point Braun. Legacy, I put question mark. I put the same for Cleveland, but Miami, I feel like it could be a little different because if LeBron comes back and delivers in Miami, I think like it would certainly have like a big impact on his legacy, because when LeBron first went to Miami, right, and he said not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, and he only got 2 out of 4. I think a lot of people look at that and they don't think LeBron really fulfilled his truest potential in Miami, and I think him going back there and delivering a championship again would definitely be a legacy move. So I did put legacy there. I know it wouldn't be as much as Cleveland, but he does have a legacy in Miami, and I think he has more unfinished business there than in Cleveland, because just like given the Heatles and they lost to the Mavs and then they lost to the Spurs, and it was kind of the short tenure. I do think there is some unfinished business there. And also Giannis. Giannis is one of the best players in the league. He would take the load off of LeBron big time, and I mean, LeBron and Giannis pick and roll would be nasty. That's all I'm gonna say. Cons, not great shooting. They did get Tim Hardaway Jr., which was a great pickup for them, but I still don't look at this team and say, wow, they're gonna shoot the lights out this regular season. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, solid shooter. He's a good shooter. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a great shooter. I will admit. Simone Fontecchio, if he plays, he can shoot. Other than that, there's not much shooting on this team, and we know LeBron likes to play around 3-point shooters. Complete enough roster. I'm not quite sure. I did make a video when Giannis first got traded to Miami. You should go watch that. And I said I was vouching that this roster is more complete than people think, but I still don't know if LeBron going there makes it complete enough. That being said, complete enough to win a championship is different than complete enough to come out the East. And I mean, I don't know. I don't quite know if putting a 42-year-old LeBron James on this roster makes it good enough to win a championship. It certainly makes them good enough to come out the East, but in terms of actually winning it, who knows? And I do think LeBron wants to win it at this point in his career. I think that's what he's going for here. And then we got bad guard and center depth. I know I said LeBron would be point, but other than him, there's just Davion Mitchell and not much else, which does not appeal to me at all. And they don't really have a true big man. I mean, Bam's a big man, obviously, but they don't have like a true 7-footer on this team. And Bam doesn't have a backup center either. So, as I said, this goes back to being a complete enough roster to come out the East, maybe, to win the championship. I don't honestly think so. Philly, man. So I also made a video about the possibility of LeBron going to my Philadelphia 76ers, as you see back there. And I'm a Sixers fan and I'm a LeBron fan, and if this happened to me, this would make my year. LeBron James should, I'm not going to spoil anything. I know I'd say it at the end of the video, but LeBron James should go to the 76ers, man. I mean, if you take everything else aside, F all the narratives, F all the legacy. If you want to win, go to the Sixers, man. Pros, best lineup. Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid. I don't need to say anything else. There's 3 30-point per game scorers on that team, and LeBron in the middle of it. Shooters and scorers. They just signed Anthony Simons, Dean Wade, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown. These are all great shooters. They could all score, put the ball in the basket, create their own shot without LeBron, like in the lineup, and without LeBron having to, I guess, go above and beyond at this point in his career to, like, facilitate. Like, LeBron would be able to coast through the regular season with this team. It's a starved city. We just saw what happened with the Knicks, how incredible that was to watch them win their first championship in 50 plus years. It's been 40 plus years for the Sixers. This is a starved city. They want to win. They're a sports city. They're going to embrace LeBron with open arms. They're going to support him. I think like no other. The Sixers fans would ride or die for LeBron for the rest of his career if he came here, especially if he completed the process. I mean, I know for the rest of the NBA that might not seem as big as that big of a deal, but LeBron completing the process in Philly would be one of the best accomplishments of his career, flat out. I'm just gonna say that. Like, as a Sixers fan, I know that's biased. I don't care. This team has not won in forever. They cannot get over the hump, and all they need, I think, is a power forward who can think the game, just like Max Kellerman said. And LeBron could do it out in Philly. He almost came here in 2018. This is the time now, man. And it's not like I have narratives in the cons, but I don't think this is ring chasing, because when you look at this team, I don't think they can win it without LeBron. I really don't think they can. I don't think they will. If you side LeBron in, I do think that they would win the NBA championship, and I think that with my heart. I really do. So they can win it. They can flat out win it without him, or with him, but they can't win it without him. And so it still gives him that sense of value, and he really would be such an X factor to have him on this team. Cons, he would have to be a deferred ball handler to Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown. That is true. So how much is LeBron willing to sacrifice that? Who knows? Narratives. LeBron's going to be on his 4th team. All that legacy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think LeBron's smart enough to know that anything at this point, as I said, in his career is a cherry on top. But I'm sure in the back of his mind, he is worried about the narratives. Oh, LeBron's going to another team with MVP. We just got Jaylen Brown, blah, blah, blah. He's chasing a ring now, like trying to catch up to Jordan, all that stuff. But at this point, man, if LeBron wants to win, I do think he should go to the 76ers. That is my 100% biased take, but I do believe it with my whole biased heart that is what LeBron should do. He should say screw the narratives. They don't exist. I'm going to be 42 years old. I want to go out on my own terms, and man, no better way to do it than completing the process. I mean, LeBron, that would be some legendary splish. I don't know why I said splish, but that would be legendary if LeBron did that. It really would be, and I think it'd be more legendary than people are giving it credit. That being said, as you guys probably know, I do want LeBron to go to Philly. I think he should go to Philly, but I do think he's going to end up in Cleveland. I just have this weird feeling that he's going to end up back in Cleveland, and it does make sense. Cleveland is a nice fit for him, and they'll definitely be able to compete with LeBron. So with that being said, if you watched this video and you liked it, please like and subscribe, comment where you want LeBron to go, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.